Hey there viewers, my name is Torinski and welcome back to another impromptu DCSS tournament play stream. We're going to be jumping right back in here with our Zom Earth, Octopode Earth Elementalist of Zom. There we go, mixing up all my words for whatever reason there. Last time around, it actually went pretty well, finally kind of settling out, starting to regain a few of the consumables that we absolutely shredded through during our unfortunate trip to the Abyss earlier on, thanks to Lord and Savior Zom. Thanks, bud. Love you. But in all seriousness, it's going pretty well so far, and we finally also got enough rings to fill up all our tentacles, which took way longer than I would have liked, but hey, we got there, and now it's just about trying to finish it off. We managed to get our first couple of runes, and we were just starting to prep for rune number 3 here. So without further ado, let's hop into it, shall we? And even immediately take a look at our little overview here and see what we wish to do. I believe at the end of our stream, was that just yesterday? Holy cow, time flies. It's weird because I did an earlier stream yesterday, which completely threw off my body's natural, rhythmic clock. But we were talking at the end of last stream here about heading to depths most likely first, gaining a little bit more experience before finally feeling comfortable enough to head down into slime, probably for our 3rd rune. I'm a little bit worried just because I do know there are a few new slimes, or at least one, potentially more, new slimes that I haven't yet encountered myself in this version. So it might be a bit of an adventure in its own right. And I also have an unfortunate memory of losing one of our promising halflings on the 3rd rune there. So we're going to try and maybe get some redemption for that. If we start to think it's a little too tricky, we can always back out, head to vaults or something like that, figure it all out. But without further ado, let us head down to our entrance to depths, shall we? Also, it will be nice for our Zot clock to enter a new area here, a completely new branch. Add some turns after having a bit of a tedious time clearing just the last floor of Elf there. In fact, we take a look. Oh, never mind. I guess, wait, how did we get up to 23,000 turns left? Interesting. Maybe it is branch dependent. Oh, in fact, it says turns if you stay in this branch. Turns out I still don't have a great understanding of the Zot clock, but that makes sense. It pretty much never comes out for me. I've had the luxury of not having to worry about it or learn about the detailed minutiae of how it all works, it works out there. I also have 2 scrolls of Aquirement. Okay, so I knew I had this one that I wasn't super satisfied with, I guess to say the least here. But if we have another one in the stack, we gotta just do something here, right? Maybe I will just go for the Shield of Chimes, even if we never use it due to this negative telly that would probably get us killed. Might also save us. Does Zom's teleport ignore that? Can't imagine it would, so it might save us even in some weird ways. But regardless, I'm going to pick up this Tower Shield of Death. Even if we do just leave it on the floor, there's nothing there that really called out to me, even though I want to have artifact rings on all 8 tentacles. That one was a little too useless even to make the cut for me here. So let's immediately read that second one though, and okie dokie. Yet another artifact ring, you love to see it. I guess that makes sense, right? Because the first slot is always armor, and that's the only real armor. That and wizard caps are the only armors that work for an octopode. So maybe I shouldn't be so surprised that that's all we've been getting so far, but that's a pretty easy choice here to immediately pick up the Ring of Coom, Strength +6 and Intelligence +5. I think we're still wearing an Intelligence +6 ring, and that, or this artifact could definitely just immediately replace one of those. So let's then go into here, put on that bad boy, and we'll replace, I think, just one of these rings of intelligence. I forgot they were wearing 3 of those bad boys. Holy cow. But that will make our melee attacks do a little bit more damage, give us enough strength to never be in fear of a stat death ever again. Or not even necessarily the stat death, but even just the step in between now, since that's no longer an instant kill. becoming slowed and passing out, essentially a death in the game. But regardless, let's pop into our inventory. In fact, let's hit the D key and just drop out a couple things that we don't think we'll be using. That intelligence ring, and anything else before we head down into the depths here. Right, potions of flight was the other one that is completely unnecessary at this point. And with that, I think we're ready. Hopefully our entry here isn't too bad. We would like to just get enough experience to train our fire magic up to the point where we can cast ignition here at a decent failure rate. Again, on top of that, we could always rely on a wizardry ring, maybe even 2, to try and get that a little bit sooner than might otherwise be expected. But ideally, we'll gain enough experience before having to make the change here. Only time will tell. And here we go. Oglebs is still going to be doing wonders for us the entire time, I'm sure. And name of the game here is going to be to remember to make sure we have statue form on. That's the one. What we were doing right at this moment, and for whatever reason my brain decided to completely drop it off the agenda, but let's not hit ourselves with LRD, but we will use these crystals to do a nice amount of damage, hitting the invisible vampire here as well. Curious, something closely misses us, so the vampire is smacking on us from somewhere here. Let's see if that kills both of them, and in fact it does. Not too bad. I guess, do we have any cold resistance? We do not ambiently have cold resistance. So I think it might be worth it to switch that right now. We'll take off one of these rings of intelligence, switch that for cold resistance, and maybe keep that around. I kind of enjoyed having the exceptionally high intelligence, don't get me wrong. But at the end of the day here, we're going to be running into a lot of ice dragons, potentially a lot of frost giants as well. So why not make our job a little bit easier, have all that set up from the get-go here. And we'll keep it moving. As long as we're not completely foolish about our decisions here, we should be able to make decent headway through depths without too much trouble. We've at least faced a lot of these monsters in the past already. Okay, Sentinel's Mark, that changes things a wee bit. I don't love coming to the stairs because everything will follow us on our way here, but it is what it is, and we can always clear the way slowly but surely with some fancy stair dancing. I would, of course, like to take out this Bogart before they summon in too many creatures. Fortunately, just one Olgrebs should do a half-decent job there. We can even slash quickly with our trident. Oh, and there's something invisible nearby as well. That's good to know. I guess we'll have to also make another ring switch for our Ring of See Invisible. I'm thinking of switching out our other Ring of Intelligence, but let's do a quick scan. I guess Resist Corrosion. Could switch that out for the time being. And interesting. She's gone now, but I definitely saw by Suzanne here. There she is. So let's take a look. That's definitely going to be a tough fight. Not a fun one to run into here, especially since she's blocking our only stairway up. So we're already deep into the thick of things here, into the kind of chaos that Zom so much appreciates and enjoys. Interesting. Yes, we can take a look at our consumables, or our evocables, I should say, to be more general here. Just to make sure, it looks like we're all set still to take on a fight with Strong Unique. We can Phantom Mirror her, we can use all of our summons as well, Condenser Vein and all that fun stuff. So I guess there's not a lot to do here. To get to it. Tengu Reaver, hey? What kind of spells do you have? All of the above. Cool, cool, cool. This is what almost took us out during last session when I just wasn't paying attention for a bit. Had to rely on some lucky dice rolls. Let's not get ourselves into that same situations this time around if we can help it. Just wanted to double check some immunities on Bai Suzhen. Unfortunately, I was pretty sure most dragons are resistant to poison. But we'll still throw out one Ulgribs if just to take out the Unseen Horrors and the Bogarts. Oh my gosh, that's a lot of Unseen Horrors. Fun stuff. And, what else? Trying to save my Condenser Vein for when potentially the most enemies are on screen as possible so that we get a whole lot of clouds. But we may want to use that up early here. And in fact, it's kind of nice having no enemies above us because it will mean no clouds form up here and we have a bit of a retreat path to go on if need be. So I think I've talked myself into it. Let's start blasting here. And fire is definitely nice, one of the few things that nobody here is resistant to. Let's see, what else do we pull out of our bag of tricks? Could go for a lightning rod. Unfortunately, that's not great against Bai Suzhen, but it does do wonders against the Tengu as long as we're able to hit. Guess we can even, at the very least, do a quick check here. Do we have a chance to hit you? We do not. Or we're not told the chance, I should say. We do have a chance at the very least. But I think I'll still blast through one of those into our Rakshasa that has not multiplied themselves. Oh gosh, would you stop making clones, please? That's not fun. Oh, and a Vampire Knight with a crazy Broadaxe, plus 10, Broadaxe of Equilibrium, Venom, 2 pips of Will, all for just a little bit of a negative to Intelligence, and also an Amulet of Skies Above, Faith, Resistance, Poison, Strength plus 2, and Dex plus 4. Again, what's with all of these standard enemies running around with the double artifacts? Scary stuff. But, let's see, we could switch over to IMB here, deal some area effect damage around all these bad boys, at least taken by Suzhen as well, though it will, I think, push her out of our clouds. What else do we have here? Tin of Tremor Stones. We do have our Phantom Mirror, but... Ooh, I was going to say, but we don't have Line of Fire to Bai Suzhen, but we do indeed. So I think I might pop that right away. Unfortunately, that summon came into being in a place that is currently safe from our Clouds of Fire, so that's nice. We do want to be a little bit cautious. When Bai Suzhen gets to low enough health, she'll turn into her Hydra form and have storm clouds all around, and things can get just a little bit nasty at that point. But for now, it looks like our clone isn't in harm's way of an IMB, so I might blast off one of those. Hopefully hit a few of these bad boys. Oh, our summon walked right into our flames. That's interesting to say the least. What else? Let's maybe go back into our inventory here, use our box of beasts to bring yet another friend into the fray here. Let's see, what did we end up getting? A juvenile shock sting beast. That's not great. Not going to be very effective against the unique here, but hopefully we'll still do something. And then I think I will take one step back this way just to get into a slightly better position. I was hoping for IMB. I was really wishing that our version of Bai Suzhen would stay in a safe place and we could start blasting a little bit here. But instead, we see ourselves facing off against the Hydra form, or I guess Dragon form? What do they call her? Press her limit, she'll reveal her true form. For whatever reason, I always thought that she turned into a Hydra because she summons Hydras, but she's definitely more of just a traditional Eastern dragon. Very cool. Let's see. Our odds to hit with Iron Shot are pretty solid. We are in her Thunderclouds, but we have resistance to electricity at the very least here. In fact, all of our resistances are still looking okay. Let's see how an Iron Shot does, shall we? Go through a bunch of actions each time we take a single move, since we take a turn and a half to do so. Jeez Louise. We're continually racking up the enemies that are approaching us. Most concerning are still by Suzanne herself and this Tengu Reaver. So I guess let's just keep it up, shall we? By Suzanne should be almost dead after this turn, which you love to see. We also finally did lose our summons, so I think I'm going to go back to an IMB here. Keeping by Suzanne in the fire, she should still die after a turn or two here. And this way we're dealing some damage to the Tengu Reaver that was a little bit closer before, and to all these other enemies around us as well. I'm surprised it's going this fortuitously. We've lost almost no health somehow in this ridiculous fight. But come on, by Suzanne. Gotta be just about done here, right? One more IMB. I'm hoping we'll take out by Suzanne, maybe the Tengu Reaver, and hopefully the Vampire Knight as well. Should also give us a ridiculous amount of experience. I'm curious how recharged our evocables are. I guess the Lightning Rod did get fully recharged off the one cast we did, so that's kind of silly on its own. And then otherwise, holy cow. I guess that's that. These buddies... Shaman, are you the ones who can LRD? You're not. Okay. Oh, but this buddy is. So unfortunately, LRD isn't great when we ourselves are made out of stone. So I'm gonna take a step around the corner in order to prevent line of sight from that bad boy. And let's let everyone come towards us here. In fact, that's already better, because now our lightning charges here can hit this Earth Mage, hoping to again take them out in relatively short order here before taking too many bad hits at the very least. Weirdly enough, this might be where we take more damage than going up against one of the stronger uniques in the game and a couple of Tengu Reavers, all the ridiculousness that we faced just a moment ago. But I'm hoping to take out this this troll without too much more trouble. I guess an LRD of our own here could hit the wall. Could at least test that out for damage, see how it goes. Not incredible, and now we're absolutely surrounded by trolls. Holy moly. Let's see what other options we have to deal with here. Could try and freeze some people, could try and LRD and start walking out of the situation. We at least are no longer marked, and if we can get to the stairs, we can try and slowly but surely make or deal with all of these buddies, make some progress through the horde here. At some point, I have the feeling that I'm going to start taking a whole lot more damage than we have been hitherto. Another option that we do have on our plate here is to just read a Scroll of Teleport now, try and get out of here, hopefully not landing in too dangerous of a spot, and then we can not be dealing with an entire Sentinel's mark worth of enemies. In fact, I feel like I do almost want to start with that. We can probably take out a couple of these shamans still before the teleport takes effect. And if we look at our mutations, we might want to do that before we lose the ability to read scrolls. So in fact, I think I will do so immediately here. And ooh, an IMB here could potentially kill a lot of the more troublesome enemies here in one go. Ideally, the Earth Mage and Shaman all get taken out, but oof. That was a lot of damage in one go. Holy moly. That's not what you want to see. I guess because I blew everyone away from me, maybe the Earth Mage actually decided to use LRD. Fortunately, with all these enemies around, there are some situations where they're not using their most damaging spells in order to protect their allies. What is next here? I guess one more IMB should definitely kill the mage. Still leaves us in a bit of a troublesome spot. let's try it out. Hoping that at least saves us from some melee damage here. Our teleport should also be taking effect any second now. It's been, I guess, 3 turns since we read it. So it's just 1 or 2 more here. So let's go... I was going to say 1 more IMB, but I might want to save the rest of my mana here for wherever we end up after this nonsense. So I'm going to take a stab with our trident, hopefully give us some health back through the vampiric brand. And then we'll go hide in a corner here, shall we? That ended up kind of being the ideal spot for us to be teleported to, so I'm definitely not complaining there. And let's see, hello friend. You're very scary. But as long as it's just you, we should be okay, and I'd like to heal up to full if possible here, game. Please and thank you. Oh, failed our statue form. It's also not what we want to see. But not too shabby. This is definitely a whole lot more manageable than our situation was a moment ago. So I'm definitely glad we read that teleport scroll, seeing as how the very next turn we lost our ability to read scrolls. Very fortuitous timing there. Please don't shout so loud, Frost Giant. I'm trying to hide here. Me oh my. Fire magic already up to 11. Oh, and thank you, Zom, taking us on a little bit of a wild ride. Thought that Zom was definitely going to drop us in the end there, right next to the orange statue, but guess not. Even Zom's not feeling that funny today. Jeez Louise. Definitely jumps right into the thick of it when you have a Zom run on the go here. Okay. I feel like we knew that was their character. It's funny that the mark doesn't happen if we just teleport through the area. It's good to know for my own sake in the future here. This is definitely more manageable to deal with a few of these enemies one by one instead of having to take on the whole crowd at the same time. In fact, if everyone could follow me down here, that would be lovely. Got an iron imp that immediately got wiped out by the monsters here. Gonna have to open gates to a stronger realm of hell than that, Zom. And here we go. Come on, give us an opportunity to look through all the stuff that we have. This broadaxe is interesting. Could almost just carry it around as a stat stick for willpower. I definitely would if we hadn't been pretty fortunate already with our recent additions to willpower, or the willpower ego. The amulet of the skies above, I guess, is fairly useless to us. Resist poison we have from multiple sources already. Faith, I don't think Zom gives much of a damn about our faith. So, I guess those will have to stay here for now. Another game. Could have been a godsend for sure. Much more manageable now that all the enemies are spreading out throughout the level. And we did actually manage to take care of a lot of the really tricky ones, the shamans and the earth mages and whatnot. So now it's just pure cleanup duty. It's funny because I was reading the other post, I think, on the Reddit where people were talking about Zom, and so many people were saying about how they never stay with Zom, even if they get them from a faded altar. They usually find timing to leave them, especially since dealing with the wrath from Zom at the end of the day isn't all that different from dealing with just regular Zom. Sure, it's a bit more consistently negative, but at the end of the day, you could be dealing with that already if you just get unfortunate in your random rolls. But me, on the other hand, I don't think I could take that. I think I am dedicated to the Zom lifestyle here. Can never be unfaithful to our main buddy in the sky here. Let's try and take out the Juggernaut skeleton. Do the Juggernaut skeleton hit quite as hard as the Juggernauts themselves? Definitely not nearly as bad. Still a decent chunk of change, don't get me wrong. But we can at least afford a couple IMB blasts here. See how that turns out. In fact, does seem to do the trick for the most part. Clearing the stairway here for us. Perfect. Necromancers are a funny enemy like that, where most of the time they're no problem whatsoever, but if you get unfortunate with what kind of minions they have spawned around them at any given, or in any given game, it can definitely get a little complicated for sure. But onwards we go. Hello, Tengu friends. Warrior and Conjurer should be fine. It's the Reavers that we're truly looking out for here. Perfect. I do love this treasure trail of gold right to the Gozeg altar. Nice little bit of immersive flavor there. And not too shabby. Spriggan Berserker with a War Axe of Anti-Magic. Could be a pain in the butt here. Where did you go? There you are. Definitely we'll want to start radiating out our poison. I'm guessing it's you. Yes, with the War Axe of Iketwool. Yeah, don't want to be hit by that too many times. Berserkers in general can be a pain in the butt with their summons from Brothers in Arms. Fortunately, we can at least take out the Berserkers themselves with our poison magic. Is this new tile for Lich? Fascinating. Okay, so that's what we want to be looking out for here. Orb of Destruction with 9d17. Jeez Louise. Absolutely absurd. Here goes nothing. Wait a second. Why are you resistant to poison? I guess the glass walls are what's saving you? Okay, it does indeed seem to be the glass walls themselves, so that's okay. I was worried for a moment there that our plan wasn't going to be quite as effective as we otherwise might have hoped. And here we go. Let's LRD, making sure to take out this Berserker as soon as possible. Don't want to lose too much of our magic ability. Perfect. Now, there is still the Lich to deal with. Also attracting a little bit of a party here for sure. Let's maybe Box of Beasts. See what we get out of that. Did we get nothing out of that? Mature Weird Box Beast disappeared in a puff of smoke immediately. Fun stuff. Well then. That Orb of Destruction is coming right at us. Send an Iron Shot back towards the Lich here. Okay, good rolls at the very least, damage-wise. One more Iron Shot just about does the trick, and so we should be able to finish them off with Time B. Spellcasters are real scary. And now, we're not in a fantastic spot in terms of just being out in the open here where we can easily get surrounded. I also do want to be slightly cautious of our magic points here. We don't have very many left. But at the same time, I can just take a bit of damage in order to put myself in a slightly better defensive position. There we go. Whole lot better, actually. And now, start radiating poison a bit. Done some ambient damage to the background monsters. Really getting surrounded here. We must have made a whole lot of noise. Wanted to check in here on Ignition's failure rate, coming down already to 56%. That's awesome. I'm actually curious, what level's our skill? Only 12. Might actually be able to turn that off sooner than I thought, just thanks to how high our intelligence score is overall here. But we're back to potentially trying to save some mana. We're just going to tab so that if our statue form ends, we can immediately put it back into effect. And what are you, Conjurer or Reaver? You're a Conjurer. You are a Warrior. Perfect. Oh, crap. Don't love to see you. Can Dig go through just unworked rock? So does that not include these? Only the mightiest magic can shatter stone walls. Okay. So that definitely works out in our favor. I guess we'll keep up our current plan. Somehow kind of working. We can go back to some more Toxic Radiance now that our magics has regenerated. We do at least have magic regen on our amulet, so that does help us out a decent deal here in keeping in the fight. But oh gosh, okay, we can no longer read scrolls. That's important. Oh, we shattered. Dang it. LRD hit us, of course. Does that get better if I go back here at the very least? Oh, I don't know if it does. LRD has interesting rules through like transparent walls because you can't use it, for example, to get some sneaky damage in on an enemy that's in one of the like sealed vaults with ruined doors. So I was curious what kind of situation we could put ourselves in here where we couldn't get LRD'd. But unfortunately, with the position of this buddy, don't think that will be the case. So, what I'm probably going to do here is actually reach back into our bag of tricks, pull out our condenser vein, and see what kind of clouds we get. Acid is pretty awesome. I guess next up, let's prevent or try and kill that earth mage as soon as possible, and the quicker we kill the enemies that are in the clouds right now, the quicker the rest will filter through. So I think to me that means an LRD is necessary here. That'll deal a lot of AoE damage, does take out the earth mage, love to see it. And maybe we're in a slightly better position here. Is nobody gonna walk in towards us through the clouds? That's unfortunate. What about you? Are you resistant to these at all? Don't think you are. Perfect. Hello, Golden Dragon. Finally met your match here. Please, if everyone could just filter in, that would be lovely. Okay, too injured to fight recklessly, of course. Should maybe take a peek at some of our potions here, if there's anything, or see if there's anything that we might want to delve into now. Ooh, Potion of Attraction? Should have maybe used that on the first turn just to pull everybody into the corrosive clouds. That would have been nice. Well, instead, let's maybe just blast another LRD here. This should take out the Gold Dragon, the Eyes, the Wasp, and maybe the Eden. Very efficient use of the mana, even though we would like to not spend too much here. Let's see. If everyone just stays out of my way for long enough here, we can hopefully... Oh, I was going to say go back to being able to read scrolls, but if Zom wants to pull our asses out of danger, I'll take that. Oh geez, statue form ending at the most inopportune time. In fact, we're not that far from the danger we just left. Don't love that. A berserker coming in. Oh me, oh my. Well, let's see here. Ambrosia doesn't do anything for us. If we could get some ambient AoE damage around us, we could Ambrosia and then curing out of it if we needed to. But I don't think that will do wonders. We have one potion of invisibility that I don't think will do us much good. You can see invisible. You can see invisible. You cannot. But the regular ugly white things aren't our main concern. These very ugly things are a bit concerning for sure. Fortunately, we're also going to be, I'm guessing, making a lot of noise right away here. But let's box of beasts. Low hit point warning, scary every single time. And then what's next? We can't read any scrolls, right? We have one scroll of summoning is what I was hoping to use, but that makes sense. It's not just teleport that we can't do, it's no scrolls of any kind. Now I want to be able to take out this Tengu as soon as possible, just because I don't like being in a corner against an enemy that has a lightning bolt. We are getting hit multiple times each shot there. So what other evocables do we have? Get lightning right back. It's actually going through a decent line here. Let's go for it. See how much damage that does. It does, again, deal, or not deal, but cause a decent amount of noise, which I don't love. At the end of the day, we do need to do some quick work here. Get some damage going down. So I'm going to aim for both spellcasters. Ooh, the Spriggan Berserker is going to be getting a lot of hits in per turn. So let's maybe try and take them out in the next one here. Let's see, is that another lightning rod that we want to do? We were able to hit the dragon, one of the ugly things, the Tengu. I think that's pretty solid. We really don't want to be corroded by the ugly thing below us here. Very much relying on what armor we have here to survive. That's our last lightning charge, can maybe be shot down this way. Let's try that out. Kind of bounces around, hits almost everything here. Jeez Louise. We're at 50 health. So the acid damage, again, not great. The fire dragon could deal a decent chunk of change, even with our resistances. So let's see, we could dip into our back pocket for a heal wounds potion, try and get some health back, enough to potentially go back to stabbing with our trident of vampirism, get some health back. Unfortunately, the very ugly things are catching up to us now. The other option is we have enough magic points for an IMB, which at least gets things off of our back. But I feel like I might want to save that for all of the ugly things crowding around us in just a moment here. So let's see, reach back into our bag of tricks. Ice Blast, we could hit off here. That's not too bad. I guess the white buddies here are resistant to cold. Fortunately, the Ice Blast wands do pierce resistance a little bit. But definitely still won't be quite dealing full damage. Let's go to that and see. It's still at 319, or 3d19, I should say. That would at least kill the dragon. At least be very likely to kill the dragon. So you know what? Let's go for it and see how it does, shall we? Perfect. And now... oh right, we empower our wands with magic points. I was wondering why our magics went down using that. That makes sense. It's not great, but it makes sense at the very least. Now IMV won't push back this buddy since they're diagonal right to a wall, but they're at least almost dead. How much damage do you friends do? Too much, I believe. 27, then up to 54 extra cold damage. So up to 27, and then up to another 27 with our 1 pip of cold resistance. And unfortunately, I think 1 IMB is necessary just to get the majority of them off of our back. And then... let's go with another Ice Blast, potentially, just as to be undodgeable. Because that should take out 2 of these bad boys, potentially even the third. Let's try it out. It does use up the rest of our magic, which I maybe should have thought about for a moment. But it did take care of everything that was our main sources of concern, or that were our main sources of concern, I should say. And we can maybe back ourselves into a corner, start to deal some damage of our own. Dang it. Back to being very scared with these buddies closing in on us. At least slightly less extra damage. That's nice. It's nice. A small victory to take at the very least. We also have Condenser Vein back online, but I don't necessarily want to use that. I feel like we could still get a whole lot more crowded. And it makes a lot of noise, even though I guess at the end of the day we've already made a lot of noise, so that shouldn't be the be-all end-all. So do you know what? I think I will indeed just pop that out there for the extra ambient damage. And then we'll start getting some hits in of our own just to heal back potentially some of the health that we're losing as well. Jeez Louise. Slowly but surely, we're somehow making our way through even this fight. Hello, friend. Everybody be sizzling here. Ice Dragon, love to see it with the fire clouds around us, but okay, this actually ended up working out decently well with the condenser vein there. Did cause a decent amount of noise, don't get me wrong, but did allow us to regenerate most of our health, which you love to see. And just slowly but surely dealing with the stragglers. Oh boy, what an adventure that was. Zom saved us in so many ways, and then we still had to fight very hard, dig deep there, just to get through in one piece.